A very good evening to everyone. On behalf of the Foundation for Universal Responsibility of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this special series of teachings on Letter to a Friend by the great Indian master Arya Nagarjuna. We are deeply honored to have with us today Venerable Geshe Lhakdor, a distinguished scholar, Director of the Library of Tibetan Work and Archives, former English translator to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and trustee of our foundation. His lifelong dedication to preserving and sharing the wisdom of the Nalanda traditions, which have teachings of His Holiness, has touched countless lives across the world. Letter to a Friend is a remarkable text, though written nearly 2,000 years ago. Its guidance remains strikingly relevant today. In a world marked by rapid change and uncertainty, Arya Nagarjuna's words gently remind us that happiness is not something to be chased outwardly, but cultivated inwardly. This 5-evening journey is an invitation to reflect, to question, to deepen our understanding, and perhaps most importantly, to begin the journey of transformation. His Holiness the Dalai Lama often reminds us that genuine peace in the world must begin with peace within ourselves. Over the next 5 evenings, each session will include 1 hour of teachings, followed by 30 minutes of Q&A, and I encourage all of us to listen not only with our intellect, but also with openness of heart. May these teachings help us cultivate clarity in our thoughts, kindness in action, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Thank you all for being here. We look forward to an enriching and inspiring series. Now it's my great honor to invite Venerable Geshe La to begin the teachings, but before that, I would like to request our Trustee Secretary, Mr. Rajiv Mehrotra, to kindly offer a khatak to our distinguished speaker today, Venerable Geshe La. Thank you.
I should just add that Geshe La, barring COVID when we went virtual, has been doing this with us virtually every year since 2007. So thank you, Geshe La, for the continuing blessings you give us.
Good evening. Can you hear? It's quite difficult to get blessing from others. According to Buddha's teaching, blessing must be given to oneself, by oneself. The meaning of the English, roughly speaking, the meaning of English word blessing, or Tibetan word chinlap, means transforming into a state of magnificence. Chin means magnificence. Love means to transform, to change. So that means transforming into a state of magnificence. So nobody can transform you into a state of magnificence, and you can transform yourself into a state of magnificence through your own practice and doing. So I want to set that right. So therefore, although Raji very kindly used this word that I'm going to give some blessing to you, but now the very, very ordinary person like me cannot give any blessing. But of course, by sitting together and reading this text together, there may be some transformation, change in our mind. That is kind of blessing. So whether you receive blessing or not, it's in your hand. Therefore the Buddha said, I've shown you the path to liberation. Liberation is up to you. He never made this big promise saying that you just close your eye and trust me and boom, transformation. Never said this. And we can all see that this is not possible in our daily life. If we are to change the world, if we are to transform oneself, it is by one's own doing, which is not easy. because we always want others to solve the problem. But at the end of the day, it doesn't, happen like that, right? So don't say it is difficult. There's nothing that cannot be done when you make an attempt to it, right? But by reading amazing text like this, it will be of great help to all of us. So I'm just reading it, right? And I'm reading it to encourage you. Now this English text is available. Some commentaries are, I think, also available in English. So read this slowly again, not only during the teaching, but later on. And the reason I chose this text is, there are so many texts that you can choose, but the beauty of this text is there are so many different short, verses. Each of them can be used in your, in the context of your different problems, different needs and so forth. So therefore, this is really good. So I've been explaining this. I chose this text. In April, again, I'm giving 6 days teaching in Tushita and Dharamsala. There also I will be doing the same thing. The reason to do this kind of teaching repeatedly is, it is of no use to always looking for a new text, Oh, I read Shanti Deva's Bodhicharyavatara. I read Nagarjuna's letter to a friend. I read Madhyamika, things like that. It's not for countering. And I always tell people, if you are thirsty, you need to drink water, not the whole ocean. Punchline hai mera ye. Really, this is so helpful to me. It is there in the Tibetan text. If you are thirsty, you need to drink water, not the whole ocean. I'm saying this especially in today's world, the so-called age of information. The so-called age of information, We're all dying to get all kind of information. Little bit here, little bit there. Then we want to tell people that, yes, I know this, I know this, I know this. It will not help you. Right? And therefore, you remember Shantideva in his Bodhisattva way of life, right in the beginning, he said, life is short. ये सारा पंचलाइन है. Life is short. कहाँ सोचते हैं हम लोग life is short? How many of us think life is short? कहाँ short है? हम तो अभी तो plan चल रहा है मेरा. 4 मंजिल बनाना है. I have to build 5-story building. I have to come up with a swimming pool. Even a person over 90 years old, if you approach that person and ask, are you going to die? He says, yes, I'm going to die. Are you going to die today? Or today maybe not. That's the problem, you see. So therefore, Tsongkhapa in his stages of the path says that one day I will die. This kind of thinking is there with everybody. But the problem is everybody thinks, today I am not going to die. And you really think I am not going to die. But honestly speaking, where is the guarantee? Death has no seniority. And normally we think, okay, elderly people will die first. Small kid will die later. Where is the guarantee? So these things are real situations, life situations. So we don't really have to talk too much. Just think about this. And to think about death is not to unnecessarily frighten yourself. It's being realistic. Realistic in the sense, if you really think about this, definiteness of the death and indefiniteness of the time of the death, if you really think about that, then you have to make some preparation. Kya karna chahiye? What should I do? What is best for me to do? What is worse for me not to do? You will start thinking. Otherwise, you will never make a move. And that's why, the one thing that I repeatedly tell people is, when the Buddha got enlightened, after he got enlightened, people requested him, please, you found this nectar-like teaching, please share your nectar-like teaching. Buddha said, no, I have nothing to teach. I'm not going to teach. And he said, I found something which is profound. He said, I found something that is profound. Think about each of these words. I found something that's profound, peaceful, free from fabrication, clear light, unconditioned, 5 features. To whomever I teach it, nobody will understand it. So don't disturb me. Let me do my meditation and practice in the forest. And he was very serious. And he said this because he was saying many things by saying this. By saying this, he is saying that if you really want to change your life, make progress, get the real stuff, peace and happiness, you need to be serious. 4 दिन की चांदनी फिर अंधेरी रात से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. I mean, it's okay, you come very often and listen, then disappear. And of course, that is also good enough. You have every right to do that, it's your choice. But if you are really thinking about big transformation and change, like any other project, you need commitment. And then finally, he agreed to teach. What he taught was, simply the 4 Noble Truths, which means, look, we have suffering. Look, we all want happiness. Very simple teaching. Because you want happiness, it's not enough to say that I want happiness. Happiness is, see whether happinesses have a cause or not. If happinesses have cause, then find out the cause, cultivate it. You will have happiness, you will have peace. If you don't suffering, don't sit there, I am suffering, I am lachar, kuch nahi kar sakta hai. Nahi. Don't sit there. Just think about the causes for suffering. If you identify the cause of suffering, and if possible, eliminate it. If not possible, at least reduce the intensity of those sufferings, you will have less suffering. Shall I give you some example? For example, all kinds of food that we eat these days. Junk food, I primarily talking about junk food. And we have some inkling of idea, इसको खाने से मैं बीमार होगा तो है ना हमको. लेकिन हम लोग वो छोड़ सकता है नहीं छोड़. Are we able to give up? While knowing fully that too much sweet is not good, especially in my case, or this, that. Even after knowing that, we always say, थोड़ा से चलेगा. Little bit is okay. Once in a while, okay. I was having dinner with somebody, then the friend ordered, क्या order किया था उसने? एक whatever be the main food, Coca-Cola, which I normally don't drink. So I said, I don't drink Coca-Cola. Once in a while, okay. So this is how we. Then it's not once in a while. This once in a while comes very regularly. So this is a very small example. And the result is that you get all kind of diseases, unnecessary diseases. इतना खा के बैठा है, पाँव आपको उठ नहीं सकता है, उठा नहीं सकता है. You're eating so much, you become so big and plump, your legs are not able to lift you. As simple as that. Right? So therefore, anything that's really harmful for your health, physical health, mental health, you need to distance from it, reduce it, and you will be surprised to see, within few weeks your health will be better. When your physical health is better, mental clarity also will be better, much better. So the point that I'm making is, the problem is we are not able to implement things. First of all, we have not much idea. And the little idea that we have, the little conviction that we have, we are not able to implement it. That's the problem. So the text reading we can do, but I want you to remember these things and implement and practice. Then you will reap the benefit. Right? So therefore, but I need to finish this text also. So the first, now the translations may be good, maybe not good, I don't know. So let us read this. A nature of good qualities, suitable for virtue. I have composed this noble poem, distilled from the Sugata's teachings, to instill aspiration for merit. This short composition deserves your attention. So he's saying, nature of good qualities. He's basically saying, he's addressing the king. And to the king he is saying, you are a person, you are by nature you have good qualities. You, the king, who has by nature good qualities, therefore, by nature, hota hai na, some people, they by nature they're so good. And there are some people who almost every day go to the temple, badmash rahega wo, kabhi bhi change nahi hota hai. So there are some people who go 100,000 times in the monastery or temple, never change. So there are some by nature having good qualities. So the king, his friend to whom he wrote this text or letter, he is saying, you are somebody who by nature has these good qualities. Therefore you are suitable for this good teaching, suitable for virtue. Right? So some people are really lucky. By nature they have this inclination to do good things. And you have an element of that. That's why you are here. You have many other things to do, right? So you need to recognize that also, your own inclination, your own capacity. And some of you came a little bit from far away place. I see 2 people coming all the way from Dharamsala and many others, maybe there, I don't know. Many different places. So that means by nature you have this inclination to do good things. And there are many others who have no inclination at all with this kind of things. मुझे इसमें कोई दिलचस्पी नहीं है. मेरा जिंदगी तो मौज मस्ती में बिताना है, ऐसे बोल करके बैठने वाला बहुत है. There are so many people who have no inclination. So nature of good quality, suitable for virtue. I have composed this noble poem. This noble poem is actually with the process of poetic composition. There are many different types. So this is one type of composition which is called noble composition, noble poem. I consulted many. I am also not a good, like somebody who does not know poetry very well, maybe because of that. But I consulted many of these commentaries, but I could not get a clear answer. What is noble composition, noble poem? So anyway, this is one way of writing, right? So I have composed this noble poem, and what he has written here, he is saying that I have distilled from the Sugata's teaching. Distilled means Buddha had taught 84,000 classes of teaching. I don't know how we can count it, but at least so many. Like in my institute also there are 108 volumes, long manuscript, 108 volumes. So if you are to read all this, number one, unfortunately these are not available in English. And even if it is available in English, you may not have time, right? So therefore you may not be able to read it. So therefore he is saying, you have no time, I know. And especially he was addressing the king. King is a very busy person. So you are king, you have many things to do, you have no time. So for your purpose, I have distilled, selected these poems for you. So just like the king, and today we may be more busy than the king at that time. Nobody knows why you are busy. Because the whole world is running, then you think I should also run. This is our kind of habit, right? Is it important to be busy? For me, I think it is not important to be busy. What is important is, what are you busy about? Kis cheez mein vyast hai? What are you busy about? And in the Buddhist teaching also there is a line, there is a poem which I read in the Ornament of Sutra. There is a verse which also says, those who are committed to helping others, it doesn't look nice that they walk slowly. Those who take the responsibility of sentient beings on their shoulder, these bodhisattvas, it doesn't look nice for them to walk slowly. That means you should work, be busy. So in such a context, to be busy is good. But otherwise, self-torture, Really, there's nothing much meaning. Yes, for your livelihood, you have to work, unfortunately or fortunately. But otherwise, on many a times, you're just running because everybody is running. So distilled from the Sugata's teachings, to instill aspiration for merit. To instill aspiration for merit means if you want to have happiness and peace, You need to gather merit. Merit means you need to do good things. From good things, good result will come. Right? So this is what he's saying. To instill aspiration for merit. To instill aspiration for merit. And he's saying that I need to write this and give it to you to instill aspiration. Unless somebody inspires you, we don't move. We hardly move. So somebody is needed. Just before coming here, today evening, I was giving a talk in St. Stephen's to the political science students. So they were also dying to hear these things. Believe me, they're young people, smart people. When I started to explain things like that, many of these young students, they show so much interest. It's needed. So somebody must be there. So there in the classroom, I told them, sorry to say, you are unfortunate. I told them, because you have no idea what the Buddha's teachings are. You have no idea what Nagarjuna's teachings are. You have no idea what Shantideva's teachings are. And these are not Tibetan guys. They are all Indian guys. And we have no interest, no knowledge, no curiosity. We are interested in something else. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama is one of his fourth commitment is preservation and promotion of ancient Indian culture, which includes these great teachings from Buddha, Nagarjuna, and so forth. And I am somebody. I am not saying that I am a great scholar or anything like that, but I spent my whole life, to some extent, reading these texts again and again, again and again. And similarly, I also read many Western philosophical texts and a little bit of science and logic and education, all those things. You want to find such an amazing teaching as is found in this Buddhist text. As you will see when you read this. They're so profound, so altruistic. कुछ भी नहीं. बाकी some of the write-ups, they are nice. But they are nice, it makes some sense, but they are not inspiring you to be good. They are not telling you how to get the most long-lasting happiness. They will only tell you how to get some sensual pleasures here and there. Or maybe at the most some fleeting happinesses, and not more than that. Right? And Buddhist teachings say the fleeting pleasures, fleeting happinesses, you've experienced so many times in this life, and in the previous lives, many previous lives also. But you are still here, experiencing suffering, having problem, not getting happiness, because you did not get that long-lasting happiness. तो इसलिए वो बोल रहा है कि now is the time to do this quantum leap and get that level of happiness and peace from where there is no returning back to the samsara. It's a big project, amazing project. And if you make such a commitment, many of these so-called problems, difficulties that you think you are confronting, all this will become very insignificant, small. Very small. And because we don't have this big picture, then we are kind of bothered by this problem. I have this pressure, I have this family, I have this loneliness, this, that, so many problems, because you don't have the big picture and you are self-obsessed. Right? So very important, these teachings. So therefore it is important that intelligent and educated people like you should really, I'm not saying anybody should become Buddhist or that. I am not interested who becomes Buddhist, not become Buddhist. I have nothing to do with that. But this perennial teachings, messages found in Buddhism, especially our Indian brothers and sisters, it's high time to be active and, start special classes, special meditations, study sessions, This is how India can become great. And I've always been telling, I came from Bangalore yesterday. I gave 3 talks in 3 different universities in Bangalore and 3 talks in 3 different universities in Mysore. And in all these places, I told them that one of the most important things that our Indian brothers and sisters do is pay more attention to your traditional values. And India's greatness should be shown through its soft power, not the hard power. Hard power, military might, unfortunately, you are compelled to have some because of the neighbors. But that is not where India should show it your excellence or greatness. And His Holiness, therefore, His Holiness is repeatedly saying in his 4 commitments, especially the last commitment, where he's saying preservation and promotion of Indian values and traditions, which means not the ritualistic part, not the useless so-called cultures, cultural clippings, but he's talking about the Indian science of mind, dealing with human emotions, and the Indian system of using logic and reason. And if you look at the origin of all these different types of Indian religions is basically a religion of multiplicity. Plurality is there. If you trace the origin of all these Indian religious traditions, there's no one person you can say everything originated from. There's no, this is the greatness of India. And therefore Indian religion, basically a religion of dialogue. So His Holiness is very impressed with those traditions. So saying, promote this philosophy system of studying human mind, human emotions, dealing with problems, and then using your brain and logic. This is so important because today, unfortunately, people are full of blind faith. No idea what God is they are following, simply saying, oh, yeah, yeah. And no feeling for the person sitting next to you, ready to eliminate or kill that person in the name of that invisible thing. I'm not just India, everywhere. So this kind of blind faith is a big obstruction for the progress of the country and well-being of people, because it divides. Which religion say, whose religion say. When we were born, we had no religion. We came crying. And by crying, we are asking not for a lengthy teaching on Buddhism. We came crying, asking for somebody's genuine loving kindness. So those things are what we call as the universal ethics, which His Holiness is talking about. Okay? So, to instill aspiration. So to instill aspiration means it's not just the duty of a teacher or speaker, just like me for today. All of you should instill aspiration. All of you should inspire each other. It's very important. Form groups. When it comes to doing bad things, people are very good in organizing things. They also wear smart clothes, And the good people, where are they? No smart clothes, no proper organization. Pata nahi hai. The fact is that majority of the people are good people. But we are overwhelmed by the few miscreants, wrongdoers, because we are silent majority. So it's important to make your presence felt. This is something that I wanted to say. This short composition deserves your attention. Short composition, but full of meaning. Composition is short, but all the important meanings are collected here. Just like a dish prepared for you. You just need to eat it. You don't have to compose a new text. The table with the food is in front of you. Now, still, if you don't eat it, we should be so grateful to Buddha and all these great teachers. They did not write this text for PhD. They did not write this for lump sum. Somebody said, oh, you should write this and finish this within particular deadline. And then Nagarjuna wrote this within deadline, and he got several, dollars or whatever. No, he wrote completely voluntarily, based on his personal experience, with the aim to benefit others. And that's the reason that we should really pay respect to them, keep this text, read again and again. Right? Very important. The wise Venerable Sugata's image images made even of wood and of any type of workmanship, just so, though my poem be poor, scorn it not, for it is based upon the description of the holy Dharma. So he is saying, when it comes to venerating the Buddha, Sugata means one who Sugata, so one who went from peace to peace. This is another beautiful teaching. If you practice this kind of teaching, your life will pass from peace to peace, happiness to happiness. Contrary to that, if you lead a life where you fight with each other, then it's not peace to peace. It's suffering to suffering. So the wise, the venerate Sugata means Buddha, Buddha's image. If you see the Buddha's statue or image, don't worry whether it's made of gold or silver or stone or whatever. That's what he's saying. The wise venerate Sugata's image made even of wood. हम लोग क्या करते हैं? ये सोने का बना हुआ. This is made of gold. Then we pay more respect. This is just made of wood. We don't pay much respect. See, this is our mental attitude. So he's saying whether it's made of gold or wood, whatever, and of any type of workmanship. Some of this may be very nicely, some of this may be not so nice. So when you see an image which is made not so nice, don't say Buddha is not so nice. You can say the workman was maybe not so good. Right? Because the important thing is what kind of message that you get from these images, what kind of inspiration that you get from these images. And of any type of workmanship, just so. So similarly, my poem, he is a very good writer, but still out of humility saying, my poem in terms of metrics, in terms of styles of composition, maybe not so beautiful. Similarly, though my poem be poor, maybe in terms of composition it may not be great, but scorn it not. Don't say this is not good. Don't look for the beauty of the word, but look for the meaning. Look for the meaning. Scorn it not, because it is based upon the description of the holy Dharma. Based upon the description of the holy Dharma. Because it is telling you the sublime meaning of the Buddha's teaching. So respect it. So therefore, if you're a good practitioner, then this text should be also placed in a nice place. Do not put it on a chair and sit on it. Things like that. And then again, you might get some with this, explanation in the second verse. Still, you might think, yeah, a poem. I'm not so worried about poem, but the thing is, I read this text many times. As I mentioned earlier, we have this tendency. Oh, मैंने पढ़ लिया उसको. क्या पढ़ लिया तुमने? क्या याद है तुमको? I was discussing with a young, Tibetan just I think this morning. So I read this, and then I said, okay, tell me what is the meaning. कुछ पता नहीं है. खाना है ना, खाना, food. How many times we have to eat in a day? You never say, I ate yesterday, so I'm not going to eat today. You have to eat every day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. So these spiritual teachings are food for your mind. So you need to feed your mind regularly. Because if you look carefully, we are all a bunch of addicted people. Addicted to anger, addicted to jealousy, addicted to this, coffee, tea, etc. So many addictions. So in order to do away with these addictions, you need to make your mind habituated with those positive qualities which is against those addictions. And there it will take time. Though you may, this is what I'm saying, though you may have, if somebody says, yeah, that's true, I'm not looking after the beauty of the poem, but I know it, I read it. So he's saying, though you may have comprehended all the exquisite speech of the great Muni, doesn't that which is made of chalk become whiter still by the moon's light? That means if your house where you whitewashed it with chalk, okay, so the house is really looking nice. But still, although it's looking very nice, but if the moonlight falls on it, will it not become even more beautiful? So similarly, you have comprehended it, you might have known a little bit, but still if you once again read it, sometimes the interesting thing is, when you once again read it, you get new insight, new meaning. For one verse you might get 3-4 different meanings. Right? Doesn't that which is made of chalk become whiter still by the moon's light? Like that. Sorry. What is time? Time goes so quickly. Okay, still we have time. So these are the preliminary verses, and then now we are starting the actual text. With the actual text, he is saying two things. With all the spiritual paths that you are going to tread and follow, there are two preliminaries. One, faith. Second, heedfulness. Two things are necessary. So first he explains about the faith, how to meditate on faith. The Jina means the victor, which means Buddha, because he got victory over the negative emotions. The Jina proclaimed the 6 remembrances. So the preliminaries, you need to, just as the Buddha taught these 6 remembrances, you should remember these 6. You should remember Buddha, remember Dharma, remember Sangha, remember charity, generosity, remember morality, and remember deities. Recall each of their several virtues. When you recall them, remember all their great qualities. Now in the case of the Buddhist process of teaching, somebody who is called Buddhist is one who takes refuge in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. One who takes refuge in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. The question arises, why should you take refuge to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha? You take refuge in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha because you have a problem. Exactly at 12 o'clock, lunchtime, you take refuge in the lunch because you are hungry. So it is in the human nature that when you have a problem, you have a difficulty which you can't solve, then you take the protection and refuge of someone else. Long ago, a man lived in the cave. That means they are taking refuge in the cave. If it is raining, you take refuge in the umbrella, right? It's our nature. So similarly here also he is saying that you should take refuge to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha because you have a big problem. Now here in this case, the problem is not shortage of money or any other mundane things, but you are so afflicted, so tormented by the negative emotions. And you want to get liberated from these negative emotions. The only way to get liberated is you need a wise teacher who can really show you the path, which is Buddha, and then the path that he has taught is Dharma. And in order to practice that you need to form a Sangha. That's what I was saying. All of you, the good-minded people, if you form and start doing something positive, it will have very strong effect. Sangha. Sangatika Prabhav बोलता है ना हम लोग, Sangatika Prabhav. Sangha. It's very, very important. For example, now India is relatively better in that sense because whichever religion you follow, you have this kind of religious inclination. But there are countries where if you go, it will be very hard for you. वहाँ मंदिर भी नहीं, मस्जिद भी नहीं है. Nobody is doing any kind of religious practice. Very, very difficult. So Sangha so these 3 are needed. Just like when you get very sick, you need a doctor, right? Just doctor or physician is not enough. You need medicine. That's Dharma. Doctor. Buddha is like the doctor. Then Dharma is the medicine. Then Sangha is the compounder or nurse who helps you because you are so sick that you are unable to take care of yourself. So you need a compounder, nurse, or your relatives, whoever, to take care of you. So when we are physically sick, we need these 3 things. Similarly, when we are mentally sick, we need these 3 things. That's why you take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Now you need, in order to know who they are, you need to read more. Buddha simply said, it is said that Buddha is somebody who himself is completely free from all kind of problems, completely liberated, and who is very skillful in liberating and helping others. And this you will know by reading some of his teachings. Okay? Then Dharma. Dharma basically is the state where you have removed all your negative emotions. That's called Dharma. Dharma is not the text that you see. Normally we call it the Dharma text, but the real Dharma is the state where you have removed the negative emotions. Then Sangha. Sangha is also somebody who has reached a very higher level, the path of seeing. One who has seen emptiness directly, Sangha. And generosity. Generosity means practice of giving. Giving is not just giving food and clothing. Giving is giving fearlessness, saving somebody's life. And more importantly, giving is giving Dharma teaching. Not necessarily sitting on a throne, but guiding people from going into the wrong direction. Then morality. You have some idea about morality, right? Morality means being ethical, which means not harming others, helping others. 3 types of moralities are there. First is refrain from doing bad things, restraining negative deeds. That's very good, right? But that's not enough. You need to also do the good things. So second morality is doing good things. And that is also not enough. The third is helping others. So morality is not a discipline that you observe without moving, sitting at some particular place, right? So this Buddhist concept of ethical discipline, morality is just for yourself. Restrain from doing bad things. Do the good things. Help others. And Buddha has summarized his teaching by saying, do not do anything that is negative. Do everything that is positive. Completely transform your mind. This is my teaching. He summarized it very beautifully. This is found in his own sutra. And the Sanskrit word for morality is Shila. Samadhi, Shila, Samadhi, Parjayana, Shila. This word Shila, we call it Shila, but Shil is similar to the Hindi word Shitalta, which means cool. Meaning that when you don't harm anybody, help everybody, cultivate positive qualities, your mind will be cool, calm. When your mind is cool and calm, then you can concentrate, then you can analyze. So that's why morality is said to be like the ground on which we build houses. People stay and walk. Without the ground, nothing can stand, nothing can be constructed. So morality is very, very important. Right? If you are somebody who is always fighting with others, who is always angry, how can you meditate? The best example given these days is, you look at a boiling water. When the water is really boiling, and you just try to look and see your face. Can you see your face clearly when the water is boiling? It's only when it's calm you can see your face. So similarly, when your mind is boiling with anger and jealousy and hatred, all these negative emotions, there's no room for cultivating positive qualities. Right? So therefore, morality. And then, deities. Deities means some of the devas of the form realm and formless realm, because of their past lives, good deeds, they also have their residence is wonderful, their wealth and enjoyment is wonderful, right? Then you are able to see, even in ordinary place, if you see somebody among people, you see some people who have very good physical body, amazing face, a lot of wealth. If this wealth and other things are not acquired through shortcut, wrong ways, then you should appreciate, yes, this is a result of their past karma, good karma. Don't get jealousy. Right? So similarly, when you look at these deities, then you say, oh, they are so wonderful, so amazing, the result of good karma. Appreciate it. Remember that. I can also become like that. That's the meaning of remembering the deities. Recall each of their several virtues. So each of them, like if we talk about Buddha's virtue, it will take many other sessions. Similarly, Dharma, Sangha, all these things. We have no time, so we are briefly explaining that. Now, so therefore, having cultivated such a faith, then what kind of behavior and conduct that you should live? This is what he is saying next time. So in the beginning, one of the most important way of life, behavior and conduct that you should live is that you should practice the 10 virtuous qualities and refrain from the 10 non-virtuous actions. Constantly practice the 10 paths of virtuous actions through body, speech and mind. Abstain from intoxicants and likewise take delight in a virtuous livelihood. Constantly practice. See, look at this word. He's not saying that practice this only for 2 days or 10 days. Nahi bola hai na. Constantly. Just like you constantly take food. Similarly, constantly practice the 10 paths of virtuous actions through body, speech and mind. So body, physically, refrain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. There's 10. When we count 10, then physically, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct or adultery. Very important. You can think the negative result of each of these in the society. Many of the problems we are getting in the society is this. People are killing each other, harming each other. Stealing though, oh my God, stealing is rampant. Stealing means what? Taking those things which is not given to you, which you don't deserve. Shopkeepers, people who sell things, they're stealing your money. No hesitation. And then milawat, mixture, what way to call this? Adulteration. Adulteration, hai na? You have maida in the butter, or banana in the butter, and oh my goodness. And even just the same medicine, if it is a medicine produced by a particular factory, which is 50 rupees, you know all this, I'm sure you know all these tricks. Then the so-called, some of the branded companies will come, and they peg it and put their brand, and the 50 rupee medicine will be sold 200 rupees. Almost everything like that. They're stealing. Rampant. What is not given to you. And then robbing. You have power and you rob other people's wealth. In the name of income tax, police, this, that, you take other people. This is all stealing. So many ways of stealing. It's not just burglary. So many ways of stealing. Right? Adultery, I don't have to explain those. Then, speech, lying, telling lie. We repeatedly do this, also lying. If you have seen something, you will say, I have not seen. If you have not seen anything, you will say, I saw it. बोला मैंने सुना BBC में बोला ऐसे झूठ बोल के. Then divisive talk, dividing. You act as a go between two families and two things. Then you say, oh, that person is a criminal. He did this, he did that. Then in this way you divide those people who are in harmony and further estrange those who are in disharmony. And then harsh speech, something that we repeat all the time. Are andhe, dekh nahi raha? You're blind, you can't see? Harsh speech. If you're already blind, then this is double attack kind of. You're already blind, still you are, it's like stepping on the fallen person. So therefore, very bad. Then what? Then gossip, chatterbox. You can spend whole day talking about everybody. उसको ना इसको वहाँ किया है ना इसको यहाँ किया वो इस तरह ना वो लंबा होता है ये ना gossiping, endless gossiping. The problem with gossiping is, number one, of course, you wasting a lot of time. And the second problem is, normally you end up gossiping about other people, nothing else. And sometimes if you don't, put full stop to your mouth, sometimes you are not cognizant of the person present near you when you are saying bad things about that person. Right? So instead of gossiping, in the Buddhist teaching it says, instead of wasting your time gossiping, recite mantra. Memorize some holy verses. Right? Then, the last three mental negative actions are covetousness. Covetousness is something like jealousy. If you find your neighbor bought a new car, you feel unhappy. इनके पास इतना गाड़ी अच्छा है, they bought such a nice car, हमारे पास नहीं है. And even if your neighbor wears a nice sari, you feel unhappy. You also want to have a similar sari. And especially in today's world, people are so, I don't know why, people are so fond of imitating others. So no need. You are a different person. You don't have to do what everybody is doing. If you are able to, and that also, if people are doing good things, you don't imitate. If they are doing stupid things, useless things, you are very good in aping those things. That's the problem, you see. And then the next is harmful intention, which we already read. Wish to harm others. And then last is wrong view. Very dangerous, wrong view. Oh, there's no Buddha, I have not seen Buddha. There's no Buddha Dharma Sangha, I have not seen them. These days people say that. Oh, there's no God, I have not seen that. You only believe what you see. But then the paradox is, do you believe in your mind? Yes, I believe. Have you seen your mind? No. So it's based on your likes and dislikes. You accept something, don't accept something. So it should be realistic. Should really be realistic. Wrong view. Wrong view, if you develop wrong view that there is no positive karma and fruit, negative karma and fruit, there is no next life, things like that, that's a wrong view. The wrong view destroys the very root of virtuous practices. Very dangerous. So in order to remove that wrong view, what should you do? You need to study. be it science, be it the religious text, whatever. Try to understand the way the law of nature runs things. And Buddha's teaching, if you look at the Buddha's teaching, is basically talking about the law of nature, the reality, nothing else. And the foundation of Buddhist teaching is two truth. Conventional truth and ultimate truth. Maybe we get some time later on. So the Buddha is saying, understand the reality. So these days, I have started saying, if this conventional truth and ultimate truth sounds very difficult, then I tell them that understand the truth. अभी थोड़ा झटका लगेगा ना. Tie your belt. I jokingly tell people, tie your belt. You are going to get some jolt now. Are you ready? What is the population, world population right now? Over 8 billion, right? All this over 8 billion human population living now, all of them are dead after 100 years counting from today. Am I right? Am I right? Did it give you a jolt? कोई फर्क नहीं. Did it give you a jolt? It will give you a jolt. Because we don't think like that, you see. And if you think like that, just as the Buddha said, if you think like that, then you will, yeah, this is very true. After 100 years, all of this dead. But after 100 years doesn't mean that I will live 100 years. In my case, another 10 years maximum. Already crossed 70. There's no need to fear about that. We fear because we have no understanding, no knowledge. But when you realize, understand this, then you know, okay, my days are, years are numbered. Be good. वो आता है दिमाग में. That's why the Buddha taught the death right in the beginning. And by this, hopefully you will make a move. Otherwise, you keep on listening to the teaching, get blessing from His Holiness, this and that. They're all good, but very difficult for you to bring about any change. If you think about your own reality, the imminence of death, not just one time, repeatedly, then you will develop some understanding what I should be doing, what I should not be doing, hopefully. So therefore in Buddhism it said, it is wonderful that you experience that tragedy. It's wonderful that some of the family members died. Then you really make a move. Ab kya karu main? What should I do? Then you become, for example, this great teacher, there are many great teachers like that. There is one great teacher, the famous Milarepa's foremost student, Tapulaji Gambuba. He married young and has a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful kids. But they all died young. And he was, with that experience, he was so traumatized or so overwhelmed by the reality of life. There and then, he gave up everything and followed the path of Milarepa and started practicing. And he became such a great teacher. So, some of his compositions are my favorite texts, which I have been teaching since some years. And then because of this transformation, not only he became enlightened, but he was able to bring benefit to so many people. तब पता चलता है. Therefore, suffering is introduction to happiness. Don't feel unhappy when you get some problems and difficulties. They are good. Challenges give you opportunity to improve, to become better. It's very important. Right? So constantly practice the 10 paths of virtuous action through body, speech and mind. Abstain from intoxicant and likewise. So not only you should refrain from the 10 non-virtuous actions, but refrain also from intoxicants. Intoxicants means what? Here intoxicant means what? Drugs, alcohol, things like, but there are many other intoxicants also. Because when we have no control over our mind, we get intoxicated by many things. So therefore he is saying, therefore at one point the Buddha said, those who follow me should not drink the wine or intoxicant drinks, even to the extent of one which a small tip of grass can hold it. Even that small amount which the tip of grass can hold it, even that amount of intoxicants you should not drink. That is what he's saying. Because normally we say, okay, a little bit, no problem. And then the little bit gradually becomes, you get addicted to it because of the risk to it. Refrain from it. Because when you get intoxicated, then you are unable to distinguish between your mother and wife. And even even teachers like Vivekananda, he said, wine is gateway to hell. Right? Abstain from intoxicant and likewise. Because if you take intoxicant drinks, you get drunk and you become heedless. And then you engage in the 10 non-virtuous actions. So therefore stop from that. And likewise, abstain from intoxicant and likewise. Likewise means don't engage in wrong livelihood. Wrong livelihood means the food and other things that you have earned through corruption, through bribe, through cheating, through exploitation. And in the Buddhist text it said, if you eat those things which you earn through wrong means, he says it is better that you eat a burning molten iron than eat those food. Right? By cheating people. Especially uneducated people. Cheating them is very sinful. The Buddha, they see all sentient beings as his mother. So if you are cheating them, you are showing disrespect to the Buddha also. Right? And similarly, those things that are offered in the temple, you can't just take it, That's also very sinful because it's offered to the holy sacred objects, and without any confidence if you take and eat, that is also not good. But somebody actually asked a very interesting question. The question was, when people offer some, fruits and a small, sweets, then the man in charge of the temple distribute it to everybody. When people offer money to it, it is never distributed. Why? 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 Huh? Very good point, right? There are many good points are there. Another similar good point is, when one of your relatives and others die, the so-called your very dear relatives die, then after death you don't even dare to touch his clothes and things like that. But you don't hesitate taking the money out of his pocket. So many things there, so many interesting things. Yeah, time already passed. So, some questions.
Anybody who would like to ask a question can raise, we have mics on both sides.
Ask any question. I have all the answers. In the back, I have all the answers.
Geshe,
Yeah, where Geshe Lhakdor, where? Yeah.
so
It sounded
in,
like Tibetan, Geshe Lhakdor. Haji.
so in Pali, in the text, page number 3, you have mentioned about the 10 parts of virtuous section. And in Pali, I am talking about the Theravada tradition. There are 5 precepts in the paths. So is there any relation between them?
Of course, of course. Sometimes they will tell you, okay, give up these 3 things. Sometimes 10. Its difference is only in number, what is included, what is not included. But it's all to be practiced, to be adopted, to be abandoned. So in that sense, it is similar, yeah.
And the 3 ethical values, so they, from them, the precepts originates, is it right?
Huh?
From the 3 ethical values.
Yeah, that's like ground, as I said.
Okay.
You can build on that.
Thank you, Geshe.
If you don't have the ethics, then you can't construct other practices because it's without ground.
Geshe, thank you.
Mm.
In this cold, you are delivering such beautiful lectures. Thank you so much.
In this what?
In this cold weather, you have come all the way.
Not cold.
Yeah, I think you are a yogi and sadhu, so you don't feel cold.
No, strangely,
Yeah.
I really thought, because I came
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Bangalore.
And it is always a
Which
delight
is a
to.
very nice, climate.
Yeah,
Then I
yeah,
thought I
yeah,
will
yeah.
feel cold. But
We
now
are dying
it's
of
very
cold,
nice.
so I think there is a difference.
Yeah,
between
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so it's always a delight to attend to your lectures. I have one suggestion and one question.
Yeah,
One suggestion is that, there are 110 verses.
yeah,
We have covered four today, 5.
yeah.
So will we be able to cover all of
Yes,
that in 5
tomorrow I
days?
will gallop.
Okay, that is one. The other one is that His Holiness, in some of his videos, says that compassion is one of the most important things.
Yes, true.
And we have in Hindu tradition saints who do not, suggest too many things. They suggest some simple things which one should do so that he can attain a peace of mind and enlightenment. Now, in the Buddhist tradition, we have quite a few things which we have to follow.
Yes.
10 paths, 62 virtues, and so on and so forth. Now, for a very ordinary person like me, naive person, what will be the main thing which one should follow, simplistic things, which can take him on the path? Thank you.
I also mentioned in the beginning, if you are thirsty, you need to drink water, not the whole ocean. Bola tha na? So therefore, you should take the essence. Especially if you are not able to, you are not very intelligent, or you are very busy, or whatever be the reason, do some practice. Essence is compassion and wisdom. Dil aur dimag ka santulan mein bolta hai. Because with wisdom you are able to see the reality that everybody is suffering, and then you feel for it, you develop compassion, right? So to a great extent this is enough. But the problem is, when it comes to developing positive qualities, we want to be, simple, just few things. And then look at your own negative emotions. Your negative emotions are not just 1 or 2. So many. Anger, jealousy, hatred, negative computation, kya nahi hai. So many a times, many methods are taught to confront all these different types of negative emotions. So therefore sometimes a very lengthy study, training to confront all these negative emotions. Because the negative emotions are coming from here, coming from there, coming from here. Khirki se bhi aa raha hai, darwaje se bhi aa raha hai, har jagah se aa raha hai. If you read Shanti Deva's Bodhisattva Way of Life, He's really trying to confront the negative emotions coming from any side. And he, in fact, Shantideva said, Shantideva very strongly says, the time you cheated me, which means the negative emotions, the time you deceived me and cheated me is the time gone. Because at that time I knew nothing. Now I know from where you are coming. You come this way, I'm ready. You come this way, I'm ready. You come as an anger, I'm ready. You come as jealousy, I'm ready. You come as attachment, I'm ready. In whatever form you impersonate and come, I will know you. I will never leave you untouched. किसी तरह से मैं आपको पकड़ूंगा. So therefore it is important to have a, from one point, it's important to have a larger picture of the negative emotions and how to confront them. It's very important. Because sometimes, these negative emotions are very opportunistic, very cunning. Sometimes they will come you in the form of anger. If somebody is bullying you, exploiting you, then anger will come and say, Madam, don't be humble, fight, I'm here, see? Then you get angry. And what will you get? When you get angry, you are mad. And when you are mad, you can do all stupid things. And even if you go to the court, you will be the loser. Or even otherwise, your blood pressure will increase, headache will come. In the night, you are not able to sleep, keep on changing sides. So many drawbacks from anger. But it will come as if it is helping you. And sometimes it comes in the form of attachment. Not like anger, very strong, but very quietly, I love you so much. You are the most beautiful person. Very gentle. And then you get attracted to it, then you know the rest. Know the rest of the story. They are very opportunistic. Why? Why they are opportunistic? Why they are opportunistic? First of all, why these negative emotions are there? Why? Because, this is based on my little understanding, reading, because biologically speaking, we are not prepared to become Buddha. We are prepared to survive, pass your genes to the next generation. And anybody who hampers that, your job of reproduction, if anybody bothers that, obstructs that, then fight. Anger is needed. Hatred is needed. And in order to reproduce and pass your gene, attachment is needed. This is how life came into being. So you can't blame. But that does not mean to say that you can't achieve a breakthrough. You have the capacity to become much better than just continue how you have been living. Right? So that's why anger and jealousy, they come because of that, for survival. But for the long run, if you think carefully, if you read this Darwin's theory of evolution, when it speaks about survival of the fittest, actually I read an article which says that the term survival of the fittest is not a term used by Darwin. It is used by another very important person, but who? Spencer, maybe, I don't remember the name now, maybe. So somebody who read or followed Darwin's theory of evolution. He was also a very good scholar. He coined that word, that phrase. And if you read his book, Darwin's Theory of Evolution, even in the context of survival of the fittest, he is saying those who show love and compassion, even in the case of animals who share their prey or bread to their, young ones or other animals, they survive better rather than fighting. Okay, next question. Yeah.
You mentioned about 800 billion people.
Huh?
In the world, presently 800 billion.
800, no, 8 billion.
8 billion means
Over 8 billion.
800 crores around.
Something like that, yeah.
And we know that next 100 years nobody will be there, you said.
Exactly. I mean, the present, over 8 billion. Then there another born, that is different.
But if we start, all elderly people, most of them, they remember about this death and all.
Huh?
Senior people, they remember about this. They have a fear about death.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
younger ones probably not aware of this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if we constantly think about this,
Yeah.
we cannot do our daily routine works.
No, you will do it much better.
So,
No, no.
so how to keep this conventional world?
Very-
It is not possible.
This is good because you're thinking. Your question is very, very true because you're thinking. So that's why I said this. You need to think. You need to think because these teachings, they are like almost like revolution, you know. Once I was giving a public talk in Moscow. I spoke about the differences between attachment and love. And then there was a young boy, Russian boy, sitting in the second line or somewhere there. Love without attachment. I was speaking about that. Then the young boy got up and said, so without attachment, how can I love my girlfriend? It's true. What you're asking is very true. This is how we feel. Because ordinary love means physical touch, hugging, you know. But Buddhist teaching says, love is not how many times you touch each other. Love is how many times you reach each other. Reach each other means mentally care about other person, not just physically touch each other. And then especially as now to your question, because now when you are able to see clearly the imminence of death, the death that I am talking about is the death of the body. There is no death to the mind. We get scared because we have so much attachment to the body. When that attachment is not there to the body, you will not fear death. हिंदी में हम लोग बोलता है ना, मोह खत्म होते ही मरने का डर भी खत्म हो जाता है. मोह, attachment. Because of attachment, you develop fear. Now without attachment, if you have compassion and love, and realize the sufferings of people, that will make you move, and even more in helping others, and you will enjoy more. जैसे कि अभी हम लोग पैसा के लिए दौड़ते हैं ना, उसी तरह when your mind is attuned to helping people and enjoy it and release it, you will do, like many great saints. Okay? Yeah. There. Here.
Geshe, thank you for the lecture. One question, like always, sort of confuses me, and that is like even in this last line of the 5th verse, like take delight in a virtuous livelihood. So I feel like in the modern world, or like this has also been written by like many philosophers, that how it's like our lives are imbricated in violence in ways that we don't even like realize, and we're not conscious of it. So like I am never able to place how to practice loving kindness and compassion whilst knowing that like literally everything that we are doing, owing to the like the staggering inequalities in the world.
Buddha never says or never tell you to do a practice which you can't practice.
Yeah, so like
So that's why he's saying, as much as possible. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama even makes it clear by saying 50-50. 50% for this life, 50% for next life, 50% for yourself, 50% for others. So that means, that's why in the case of karma also, for example, if you are moving around and without knowing, without being conscious, if you trample on an ant, that's also negative deed, but very, very light negative deed. Because you did not intentionally trample on it. So therefore, and then there is another phrase which says, Semzang wala nyepame. That means one who really leads a wonderful, compassionate, good motivation. And then here and there you slip a little bit, no problem. Yes. There, here.
Geshe Lhakdor, there's something that always confused me about Hinduism and Buddhism. Monks are not allowed to have a family, so they can concentrate on helping all people instead of just the family. But what about friendship and pets and so on?
What?
Friendship, pets, isn't that also attachment?
Helping all sentient beings includes pets. Helping all sentient beings includes relatives and parents, everybody. That doesn't mean, as I already mentioned, love does not mean how many times you touch each other. So helping doesn't mean that you should own a pet, own a dog, no.
No, I'm saying that's also attachment. Attachment to a pet, attachment to a friend.
Yes, that's also wrong. Attachment is attachment, whoever. Attachment to Buddha is also bad. How? Huh? Because attachment, I'll give you an example. If I throw a few drops of oil on a piece of white cloth, what will happen? The cloth will absorb that oil, and once this happens, it will be very difficult for you to separate it from your cloth. So similarly, when you get obsessed and develop attachment, you get your mind stuck there in the object. It immobilizes you. And the purpose of spiritual practice is to be free from those kind of obsessions. That's the reason. Yes, but, yeah.
You still need to love, and you still need to, you still need to love, and you still need to give. And so how do you, as a flawed, unevolved human being, figure out how to do that without being too neutral, without being an unfeeling person?
That's why we are talking about stages of the path. When we practice, we do it slowly, and be getting better and better. You can't do it right away.
But who are you when you've done it? It seems like you would be a marble statue when you have finally succeeded in letting go of everything that you would...
That's the problem. You are measuring based on your personal experience.
Well,
Exactly. That's good. I'm not saying bad. It's good, just like that Russian boy asked, We are measuring things based on our experience. Then we feel, if this is the case, then you're like a piece of stone, You have not much feeling. No, it's not like that. You have a feeling, but that feeling is not going to stuck there in the object.
But can you just, I don't want to be unfair,
for example,
but can you describe what that might be like? Because
for example, I give you an example. For example, I give you, let us say, a mango. I give you a mango. My job is to give you the mango, and you enjoy it, eat it, that's it. I give you a mango, and then I forget. I don't have to remember that I have given you a mango. So you should remember. And maybe one day you give me something else. This is how we normally feel, unfortunately.
But that's very transactional if you exist at that level.
Exactly. So we are not talking about being transactional. Just give it, that's it.
I understand about the mango. I'm not sure I understand about the people, but I'll think about it.
Geshe Lhakdor,
Yeah.
Firstly, thank you so much for this wonderful teaching. Geshe Lhakdor, like you rightly said, we are biologically not prepared to become a Buddha mind.
That's what I read in a book.
Yes, and
I liked it, you know.
we are prepared to survive.
Yeah.
And Geshe, sometimes when we study, and the
Yeah.
more we study, we also like going inwards and being with ourselves.
Yeah.
And that is definitely not compassion, because you are only thinking of yourself and you only want to be with yourself quiet. And then anything external sometimes irritates. You know, one gets irritated, one
Yes,
gets
yes, yes.
reactive.
Just like the sadhus, yeah.
So how to, you know, that's a huge hurdle to bodhicitta or even basic human.
So that's why
decency.
while it is important, it's like charging the battery. You charge the battery, right, of the torch. And having charged the battery of the torch, what will you do? Use that charged battery in the light or in the darkness?
In the darkness.
Darkness, exactly. So similarly, your being with yourself, studying, is not to stay there forever. This is like charging the battery. And having charged the battery, you go into the darkness, means go to people who have problem, difficulties, and help it. That's the way. Okay?
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
My question is, we cannot suffer psychologically.
We cannot.
Suffer psychologically without thought, feelings, emotions, and even desire, which
Exactly.
Buddha says desire is the cause of all suffering, is not possible without thought.
Yes.
We are having thought of past and the future,
Exactly.
causing fear,
Exactly.
anxiety, and everything.
Exactly.
So I want, if we understand what exactly thought is,
Yeah.
why it is coming, from where it is coming, what are the views of Buddha or the scholar Nagarjuna about what exactly is thought, why it is coming, from where it is coming. Because if I feel, if I understand thought, then it will help me to avoid all unnecessary thoughts coming, because daily we are having 50 to 60,000 thoughts, and 98% or 95% are useless and repetitive thoughts.
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So it's not important from where it is coming. It is there.
Yeah, it is there.
It is there.
Why it is
So now why it's coming, that is not so important. Why it's coming? Because it comes from its causes and conditions, you know. This is like a running stream, you know. You say where is the source, you know. Not important. What is important is thought is there, just like the body. And as you are right with mentioning that many of suffering comes because of the thought. So having realized that, what is important for you to do is, thoughts come, let them come. Like clouds float in the space. That's not the problem, you know. Let them go, come, you know. But so similarly, when thoughts come, say thoughts about a Mercedes car or something like that, if that comes there, oh, it's thought is coming, okay. Then another thought, okay. Don't chase the object of the thought. The problem arises because when any thought comes, and then we chase the object of that thought. So therefore you should, in the text it is mentioned that you should just be an observer, just a watcher. Don't chase them. Then there will be no problem. Don't chase them, because we chase, then we get problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, one last, then we stop. Yes.
I'm wondering that in the physical world, very practically speaking, how do we determine what is stealing and what is not? Because these days it's very easy for us to justify, let's say I might think that I deserve a better salary than someone because I was educated in a better institution or something like that. So how do I know physically what I deserve? How do I figure that out?
If that company or the boss has the money to give you the salary, right?
But if that is based on some sort of exploitation?
Oh, that's a little bit complex. If you go too far, you can't live. That's why I said as much as possible. Right? As much as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.